has come to an end. I've been enjoying whatever we have been talking about up to right now. And we've actually come to the last segment. I'm here with Mr. Three-Pointer, Albert.
They used to call me the hot hand.
The hot hand, the hot hand. I'm here with the hot hand. You played with the national team. I mean, how was the national team back then? Did we have to go and pick up players from the diaspora to play for the national team during your time?
No, we didn't do that. And my stint with the national team wasn't for very long. I think it was, I think while I was still at university, that's when I played a role with the national team. Yeah. And it was, I think I played probably some friendly games. Yeah. I didn't play major competitions with the national team, so after university I went to Gulu. Yeah. And I worked in Gulu, so that took away about 2 years of my basketball career, of me being active in basketball. Yeah. Though I came back afterwards, but yeah, I had my stint with the national team was very, very short. So
yeah, how was the national team back then?
Well, we had a pretty decent team. I remember me, Omon Steven, and Norman Blake were on the team, so we got to play, I think, friendly games with the Kenyan squad in preparation for something that we did not go for. Yeah. But we had, I remember we lost the first game. I think we played 3 games. We lost the first game so badly to the Kenyan national team. We picked up in the second game. We actually were able to compete in the second game. And in the third game, we actually led them. We led the Kenyan national team all the way till the last seconds. Then Anset Wafula started shooting threes from the center court. Some threes that actually were leading by more than 6 points. Yeah. Maybe even 7 points. This man, in the last minute, inbound to him, dribbles the halfway and shoots a 3. They were like, oh, maybe that's just a fluke. We are still up. Does it the second time, the third time. Those are 9 points, and we were done for. Yeah. But that was my major experience with the national team. So I didn't compete in any major events, and these were friendly games. Yeah. So I didn't really play much with the national team. Okay. Even after that, because
you traveled.
I started working up country.
I mean, you're now a coach, right?
Yes.
I've seen you work with the girls, and now you're also currently working with Sommet as a team.
Yes.
I was trying to talk to a couple of fans outside there and people who understand the game. They asked me this question: why is it that girls' basketball is more developed than boys' basketball today?
That's a very interesting question.
Yeah.
I just came back from the post-primary ball games 1. Yeah. Supri and Chavaka, they played against Moose College in the finals of the competitions. Moose College is almost purely Sudanese.
That's the girls' category?
No, boys. Supri and Chavakade is almost purely Sudanese. Yeah. I don't think you can mention one name of any of those players on those boys' teams that is competing on our national team. Yeah. But you see the drift.
Yeah, I've seen.
Yeah? Unlike girls' basketball, St. Noah played against Chitende. I don't think St. Noah has any foreigners on their team. They are all girls, Ugandans. Yeah. And I'm sure more than half of the Chitende team are also Ugandans. Yeah. And very many schools do not bring in foreigners for the girls' teams. They play all locals. Look at Chivoli. Yeah. Look at Nabisunsa. And those are the top girls' basketball schools in Uganda. Seroma, those were the teams in the quarters and semis. The majority of those players are Ugandans. And now those are the schools that are being taught well. They have a good basketball program. Yeah. Half of our national team comes for the girls. Yeah. Junior national team come from St. Noah. Yeah. Now we have one of them this morning training on the U23 national team. Yeah. So you see the drift I'm taking. It's tougher for boys. Yeah. And now without that foundation for competing competitively,
'Cause,
at high school, then going into university, yeah, it's tougher for boys. Yeah. And now without that foundation for competing competitively at high school, then going into university, yeah, going into Jenna is a direct product of good basketball from high school.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, that is so spot on. We don't even have to say more.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
I mean, that's a good one. I know you've had a lot of success coaching. I've seen you coach the Sparks Makerere team.
Yeah.
One of those Uganda, and I'm not sure which category it was.
U16, U17, U18,
Yeah.
U23.
I mean, tell us about your success with the national teams in Uganda.
My first opportunity to coach the national team was about 7 years ago, when I was Mavita's assistant with the U16 girls.
Yeah.
And we did go to Dar es Salaam, and we had teams from Kenya, Tanzania, Rwanda, and we didn't make it as number 2.
Yeah.
We came out as number 2 from our zone, and we went for AfroBasket. That was my first experience with the junior national teams at that level.
Yeah.
Now, again, I use every opportunity to coach a national team as a learning curve for me.
Yeah.
We go to Mozambique, Maputo for the African U17, U18
Yeah.
championship, which is Afro basketball for that category.
Yeah.
We meet teams like Mali that had been competing in these tournaments for a very, very long time. I think ever since we started playing here in bouncing a ball, Mali had been one of the top teams in Africa.
Mali, Angola.
Yes, Mali, Angola, Mozambique itself, yes. So we get there and it was totally different. Like, I had never seen a team so well organized from their coach. It looked like we weren't playing basketball. I'll tell you why.
Yeah.
Mali had the ability to press every team, full court press, and destroy them. It's like they already won the tournament before it even started. Even Mozambique, who they played in the finals, scored the least. I think they scored like 30 points. In the finals. Meanwhile, Mali has 60, 70 something points.
Wow. At home.
Yes.
Mozambique was
at home. Yes. So of course, those are always learning curves for me.
Yeah.
Now, my major success I had with coaching the university team, which is still, I think, a national team, but it's under 21 at that point.
Yeah.
It's under 21. We go to Nairobi. And we play against. This was actually before this U16. We go to Nairobi and I'm coaching the team, and we are playing against 3 teams. Were there 3 teams? There was Uganda, there was Kenya, there was Mozambique.
Yeah.
I don't remember the other team that showed up, but they weren't very formidable. But those were the main teams. So Kenya gets disqualified because they were playing foreigners, not Kenyans. They had foreign players playing on their team.
Sad. Sudanese and everything.
Yes. What's her name? There's a famous girl in Kenya who now I think works with...
Something Chan.
Yes, Chan, yeah. So I think they had some foreign players on their team, so they got disqualified because of that. So we got to play Mozambique in the finals, and we had a pretty good team. We had Peace Proscovia as our center. We had Claire Lamunu as our small forward. We had Moruna Moding on that squad as well.
Yeah.
Mozambique wasn't an easy team. Mozambique have been organized for so many years with basketball. They had, in fact, one of the FIBA instructors told me he personally was in Mozambique for maybe close to a decade, just helping Mozambique basketball.
Yeah.
Even as we speak, ladies basketball in Mozambique is more watched than the men basketball.
Wow.
It's crazy. That final I was telling you about, Mozambique playing against Mali
Yeah,
in U16,
Yeah.
the arena was so full that they stopped people from entering. And this is a girls' final.
U16.
Yes,
Wow.
the arena, I think you know, but I think it was U18. When we were doing the qualifiers, it was, I think, U16.
Yeah.
But when we get there, it's U18 now.
And the arena
this
was
is like
full.
a year.
And they have a big arena.
We don't have an arena like that in Uganda.
Yeah.
Imagine the Kigali Arena. What's it called? I don't know what it's called.
Yeah.
Is it the Kigali Arena?
BK something.
Full to the brim, but there's no more space to sit.
Wow.
There's no more space to sit. Even the organizer FIBA had to stop the match to get guys to clear the scoreboard area. Like, imagine the scoreboard is up there, but people are standing in front of it and you can't even see the scores. That is how much those guys support girls basketball.
Yeah.
But coming back to this tournament in Nairobi, Mozambique was a very tough team, but I knew we had certain advantages that they did not have. We had Claire Lamono, who was fresh university, very athletic at that point.
Yeah.
We also had Morina Moding, who was like...
That's a general.
Yes, we had Anyango Winnie, who was like crazy three-point shooter.
Yeah.
And we had some of the Sparks. We had Cheche.
Yeah.
We had some of the Sparks players. We had a pretty decent team.
Yeah.
And that group of players had been together for a bit. I think Peace was the more mature player on the team.
Yeah.
Like, ultimately, like the lead on the team. But these young guns were blazing.
Yeah.
We were down most of the game till the very end. I remember this very well. In the last quarter of the game, we kept bringing the scores close. With about 3 minutes to play, we were down like 2 or 3 points.
Yeah.
And that was comfortable. I was okay being down. If I was leading, I would be under too much pressure.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
we are down about 2 points with 3 minutes to play.
Yeah.
So I knew we had them where we want. They called for a timeout. We keep playing. With, I think with a minute to play, we were up, I think, like 1 or 2 baskets. Now, at that point, I knew now it's time for, that's when you have to do your job as a coach, ultimately.
Yeah.
I knew their bigs were not as fast as Claire Lamono.
Yeah.
So I had Claire Lamono inbound the ball, but all the other players stay beside. Give the ball back to Claire Lamono after inbound, out-dribbled her, man, laid up. I think we're up 3 at that point. They called for a timeout. We were okay with it. Full court press. We press them. They can't score. 30 seconds, I think, to play at that point.
Up 3 with possession.
Yes, I think we win the ball goes out, we win the ball, I call for a timeout. Now I say, well, now let's space out, okay? Again, dribble down the ball, you don't have to score, let's run down the clock.
Yeah.
Maureen, go and post. And you know Maureen, she's big, her heart is huge.
Yeah.
Post, shake, turn around, bank shot. At that point, the game was really over. We were 5 with less than a few seconds.
Yeah.
So that was like my major big championship, winning the African University Games.
Yeah.
And that eventually qualified us for the World University Games. So we went to South Korea for the World University Game, which is a totally different story again.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
I'll talk a little bit about it. The World University Games are semi-pros coming to showcase their game.
Yeah.
We were nowhere close to semi-pros. We were nowhere close to semi-pros. We were purely amateur. That's the major lesson we learned.
Yeah.
Taking part in that tournament, we weren't ready.
Yeah.
And they told me, I was like, no, we shall be ready. But we weren't ready to compete at that level.
Yeah.
Physically, we were too small. We were too small. We looked malnourished.
Yeah.
Penina told me when we came back, he sat and was talking with those guys and asking them, how long did you take to prepare for this event? How much support did you get? Because we were small. If you remember Cheche.
Yeah, Cheche was
Yeah,
tiny.
she was this small. Like, how is she? Our first game was against Australia. Australia had players who were vying to make it to the WNBA or playing into the Euro League.
Wow.
There is nothing we could do that could stop them from scoring.
Yeah.
There's nothing we would do. They outsized us, they outsmarted us. We say this play zone, it's like nothing would work for us.
They're just shooting.
I think I still have that score sheet from that game.
Yeah.
I remember the difference was 99 points.
What?
99 points.
Oh, there's a big difference.
I think I'm pretty sure I still have that score sheet stashed somewhere in my pile of papers in my archives. So again, like I said, that is always a learning curve.
Yeah.
You have to prepare better. The next university games we went to, we were able to compete.
Yeah.
We had better, stronger players, and we did compete well. We went to the 3-on-3 World University Games, and I think we made it to the quarterfinals.
Yeah. Big improvement.
Yes, huge improvement, but this was 3-on-3.
Yeah.
So that, I mean, it's always, there's always room to grow for us.
Yeah, true.
Yeah.
I mean, I've seen you work with Sommet Basketball Club right now. That's a guys team.
Yes.
I don't think I've seen you work with a guys team before, and from what I've seen, I'm seeing success. I mean, you're doing a good job with Sommet. How is it going on for you right now with Sommet?
It's not easy. It's not easy, and it's not the first team that I've coached in the NBL. I coached Rhino as well.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, I coached Rhino for maybe a year when they were in the NBL, and they did well. Anyhow, Sommet, I only started coaching Sommet a week to the start of the season.
That's tricky.
So,
Not the season training. And
no, nothing like that. So basically, when I got there, I didn't introduce anything complicated because we had to get ready to compete. Simple offense, 5 out, pick and roll, attack the basket, execute.
Yeah.
Okay, zone with defense, 2-3 zone, once in a while throw man-to-man here and there, and it gave me an opportunity to get to learn the players. And I will tell you, I only learned, I know the players fairly well. I got to know them fairly well with 2 weeks to the end of the first round. Like now I know character and this, and that's why I'm saying it's not easy.
Yeah.
So now I'm trying to use this off-season to try and get the team together, do things that I should have done during the off-season in terms of conditioning, preparing them. Unfortunately, it's like a 2-week window, which is also not a lot of time.
Yeah.
But the boys are working hard. That is the ultimate. They are working hard. They are very cooperative, and we are doing well.
Yeah.
We are doing pretty well. I'm excited, and I'm actually more excited for where I want them to be in the near future. I'm finishing this.
That was one of the best. I know your coaching experience is very diverse. And
we try. I have great support from Simon.
Okay.
Yes, Kasule Simon. He's very supportive and brings in new ideas, and we share a lot and plan and plan for the team. Of course, the management. I have to thank the president Nasser for being very supportive as well. To put the team together, recruitment. I think he put together a bunch of young guys and old guys with experience, and the two getting them together to gel and be able to compete and complement each other has been a very huge thing for us in the first round.
I mean, tell us about some of those coaching clinics you've gone for. I know you've gone for a couple in the States and everywhere. Tell me about some of them. And the impact they've had on you.
Oh, the impact has been immense. Like, I can't quantify it. I'll tell you, my sports science training I did in Canada, thanks to the Uganda Olympic Committee and the Uganda Basketball Federation. Well, it was financed by the Olympic Solidarity through the Uganda Olympic Committee. And of course, I got recommendations from the Uganda Basketball Federation. That was huge because I got to understand what it takes to develop a team. People and develop athletes. I specialized in long-term athletic development. And many of the things that I learned were eye-openers, like the, like, oh, like that light bulb moment.
Yeah.
So that has helped me so much, especially with the work that I did in Uganda. That is why I still love and I want to continue to work with young kids.
Yeah.
For instance, I didn't understand anything about nutrition for athletes. I wish I had the information I have now.
Yeah.
When I was still an athlete. When I was still playing, I would probably be exceptional.
Yeah.
But I'm only learning that now. We learned about nutrition, how and what to teach kids in the different stages of their growth. Between 9 and 12 years old, what are you teaching the kid?
Yeah.
When do you start getting them to come out, like transition between getting into the pro and getting into the national team level, all those different stages. When I watched Iganga girls compete in Bukedia, I had been with them maybe 2 years and a little bit more.
Yeah.
And their senior team are all S3s.
Yeah.
The work I did with them is showing.
Yeah.
Me leaving them, I have left them in a gap because I needed to transition them to the next stage,
Yeah.
which is now, because they're now what, 17, going into 18 now. Ideally, they should be looking at top flight national team level at that point.
Yeah.
I wouldn't understand that if I hadn't done that sports science training with PISAC. At the organization that hosted us was PISAC.
Yeah.
So what they'll do, they'll bring all the senior professors in sports science and get us together for 2-3 months and pump us with knowledge. We even had a professor who would teach us online. She was based in Switzerland, and these are like the top professors who work with some of the top clubs, even top clubs, and even Manchester United. That lady said she worked with Manchester United.
Yeah.
So they know Ferguson from the days.
Yeah.
Those guys have, it was an eye-opener, I'm telling you. That's why I'll continue to work with kids and help kids grow.
Yeah.
My passion is always seeing kids grow and become better at this sport. And I know, and that gives me pride.
Yeah.
I don't have to be paid to get satisfaction, just seeing them grow.
Developer.
For instance, I'll tell you, just seeing the Gazelles do what they did in that qualifiers.
Yeah. Afro qualifiers.
That wasn't by mistake.
Yeah, of course.
It was a long time coming, and I knew that time would come. And they are still set to be dominant, I think, for a couple of more years.
Yeah.
Because if you look at that Egyptian squad they were competing against, some of those girls have been playing at the national level for a very long time.
Yeah.
And look at the average age of our national team.
They're really cute.
Well, I think Claire was the oldest person on that team, yes.
Sheila.
Yes.
Very young kid.
Yes, but look at, that is there at the prime.
Yeah.
At the prime, and that is what it should be. That's what it should be for our national team. And I still think they are going to be served for that national. The Gazelles are still going to have young girls coming in, because we still have very many girls in the US competing, and they're still young.
Yeah.
We even here, St. Noah, those girls, we're already bringing them to compete in the U23 squad national team. So, yeah, I mean, Canada was amazing. I've worked with the 3-on-3 national team coach for Serbia. That was in Tunisia. That was about a year ago. Then when I was in the US, I was working with an organization called First Coach Africa. We had a coach called Mike Faris who also helped me learn, because I was an assistant coach at the high school which he coaches at, not for Christian academies. So I was his assistant then. Of course, it's an eye-opener watching him and supporting him, and all those kind of trainings. I mean, I would highly recommend every coach to do them. Again, Nick going to Germany, Mavita, I'm sure those trainings have changed their perspectives when it comes to how to coach the game better.
Definitely.
And that explains he's the Gazelles coach. So
And he's successful.
yes,
Yeah.
he already has with his first he already has a story to tell,
Very true.
Yeah.
I mean, let's get into our last part of the podcast. I'm just going to ask you about your all-time basketball players in Uganda and internationally. I think let's begin with locally first. The girls category, top 5 all-time. Then you pick your GOAT.
Oh, for girls. For girls is not so hard.
Yeah,
So, I'll have Claire Lamono as one.
yeah.
I don't even remember who was playing before Claire Lamono. I don't remember who was playing before Claire Lamono. But I'll have Peace Proskovia there.
Yeah.
Probably Peace was there before Claire.
Yeah,
I cannot go beyond. Well, I'll go with Hatma.
yeah.
Hatma Ali.
That's 3.
Yes, that's 3. Of course, Maureen Amoding.
Yeah, 4.
And there's no way I can leave out Jenna Sinde.
Yeah, that's 5.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, so those are the
Yeah,
5.
there are other players to mention that I could mention.
Yeah,
Kula Melissa,
yeah,
and I still think she hasn't given us her all. I think she'll even be amazing.
yeah,
She'll still be amazing with her pro career still going on.
yeah.
Zama as well. But ultimately, those are my 5.
Yeah, then the GOAT female category.
I'll go with Claire Lamono.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
perfect.
Well, I'll let Jen come and retire. Then maybe I
Yeah,
can.
then you can-
Then we can. Yeah, but Claire has been one of the ultimate players for our national team for the longest time.
Yeah,
So she's my god.
yeah. Then the guys,
Woof.
you played with a lot of GOATs, so it's going to be crazy.
Let me pick the ultimate 5. Then
Yeah.
I will. I'll have Norman there.
Yeah,
I'm going to go with the people that I have played with in my
yeah,
era.
yeah,
Yeah, because if I go beyond that, then some names mentioned people may not even understand. But there is a gentleman called Ebianyait. I don't know where that man is,
yeah.
but that man, I think, single-handedly won Zone 5 for Falcons, if I recall well.
Yeah,
Yeah? So that is 2. So Norman, Ebianyait, Stephen Omon.
yeah.
I've forgotten some names. Locally, right?
Stevie Domo, Norman Blick.
Stephen Omon, Norman Blake, Ebianyait. Oh, how could I forget? Henry Malinga.
Yeah, Henry.
Henry Malinga. I don't know how I could miss out Henry Malinga.
We just saw him actually.
Yes, yes, Henry.
That's 4.
And 5. 5. My 5 is going to be Ben Komakech.
Ben Komakes, yeah. That's well deserved, of course.
Yes, it has to
Yeah.
be Ben.
Yeah,
If I hadn't
well
put Ben
deserved.
there, I would even feel guilty. But ultimately, Ben Komakech.
yeah.
I'm even surprised that man is still playing till now. But he takes good care of his
Of
body,
himself,
so yeah.
Then look, I think we know your GOAT. You already talked about it. You said it's basketball.
Eh, no, please. Yes, Norman is basketball. Norman was basketball through and through.
Yeah,
Like, you would not see that man in any light other than basketball.
yeah.
So, yeah.
He's the GOAT.
But my GOAT ultimately will be Henry Malinga.
Henry Malinga. Okay. At least that's
I
different.
think that man had the hugest impact on basketball in the recent past decades.
Yeah.
Henry Malinga.
I mean, that's a good
His
one.
impact on our team was huge.
Yeah.
Yeah, of course, I know we have a current squad with all the foreigners, but
Yeah.
Henry Malinga's impact on the team was,
It was special.
yes, those guys held Falcons, put Falcons on the map.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Then internationally, let's go. The guys, of course. We won't do the girls, just the guys. And your GOAT after.
I don't remember his name, unfortunately.
Yeah.
You remember the guard who came and played for our national team who was unstoppable? I don't remember his name.
Recently,
Not recent. I was told he tore his Achilles not so long ago.
was it Jordan Mayers?
I think so, yes.
That-
Oh, I had never seen someone execute at that level live. Apart from the time when I got to watch, of course, substituted games in the US, but that guy was, his basketball IQ, his knowledge of the game, his athleticism,
He was very athletic.
his scoring abilities. I think he was untouchable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Ultimately, he's my number one. Yes.
We're going five.
Five
International.
Yes, 5 international. Then, of course, we've had Opong.
Yeah.
Opong, I'll have to have him there as part of my 5. Then we have, what was the big guy's name? Oh, of course, we have Ishmael.
Yeah.
So we have Opong, Ishmael, Jordan Mayers.
Yeah.
There was another big Brandon.
Yeah,
We had Brandon, yes.
Yeah.
We had Brandon. And then there was another guard.
A guard or a big guy?
There's this boy in college. What is his name?
Kaluma.
Kaluma, yes, Kaluma. I have to throw him in there because I think he's amazing. I don't know how he's doing, but I hope he makes the draft this year.
Let's just pray.
Yeah, let's pray he does.
So let's go to the Jordan eras, Kobe, LeBron.
Oh, top 5. Number 1, of course, who is the GOAT? And I don't know why people even still debate about the GOAT, but Michael Jordan is my GOAT. Growing up, I watched Michael Jordan play, and that guy inspired me.
Yeah.
Yes, and I don't think any player has instilled fear in his opponents as much as Michael Jordan did.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I think whoever still thinks LeBron is the GOAT should watch NBA at 75.
Yeah.
Jordan walks in last and there's a standing ovation, not just from the players themselves, but even the entire arena they were in, everyone stood up when the guy walked in.
Yeah.
And he had been retired how long?
Very long.
And how can you even have a debate about the GOAT then?
So people never watched the
people
play.
know.
Yeah.
If you still you retired many years ago and your shoe brand is still the best-selling shoe brand.
Yeah. So we have Jordan.
I think the influence that man has on basketball was huge.
Yeah.
I think he transformed an era of basketball.
Yeah.
So Jordan is number 1. Of course, I'll throw LeBron there.
Yeah, too.
He's an amazing player. One player that I'm going to throw there who people may critique is Steph Curry.
Yeah.
Because they may not look at him in light of Michael Jordan and LeBron James, but I think that guy has had a huge impact, even more than LeBron,
Yeah. True.
in basketball in the last decades.
Very true.
He's changed the game.
Yeah.
Everyone wants to play like Steph, and just to echo what very many sports analysts have said, every small player wants to be like him.
Yeah. That's true.
If you watch Euro basketball, you can't shoot the game.
You can't get on the floor.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You can't shoot the ball. You're not productive.
Yeah.
We have now stretch 4s, stretch 5s. You have to be able to shoot the ball because of that one man.
Yeah. Then 4.
So those are 3. KD, Kevin Durant.
Yeah.
So I have Michael Jordan, Steph Curry,
LeBron,
KD. And unfortunately, I didn't watch any other big B as dominant as Shaquille O'Neal.
Yeah.
So Shaquille O'Neal is my other.
That's well deserved. I mean, that is really well deserved.
My other big
this is the last one. I just want you to look at the camera and advise the youth outside there, people who want to learn basketball, about how to be successful and how to make it as men and women.
1, focus on the fundamentals, okay? And there are very many youth academies out there now, and I'm glad that many of them focus on the fundamentals, but it takes time. Be patient, okay? Again, like I said, it takes time. First 3 years, focus on your fundamentals. Next 3 years, focus on executing at a high level. Then the next 3 years, you're competing at a high level. Like after, those are 9 years in total. I think that is the time frame for a player to really be executing at a very, very high level. So basically national team level. So be patient. Your time will always come if you're young. Keep pushing, keep working hard, and be encouraged, because I see very many young people coming up, competing on U16 qualifiers, which are even happening tomorrow. And I see them grow through the time. I've seen players grow. I've seen Jane grow all the way from competing in high school and where she is now. It's a process, so don't look for shortcuts. Shortcuts won't get you there. Just go through the system, the different stages, and you will get there as long as you stick to it. Very, very important. That's from me to you. And of course, there's talent alone can't get you there. The hard work will, plus talent will get you there in all fronts.
Albert, thank you so much.
It was an honor coming here, and it was nice going down memory lanes.
That's what people want to hear. I mean, that has been it. The greatest shooter and a champion national team player, Mr. Albert ACIKU. The producers, camera guys, Fred and Mr. Brian, thank you so much. The viewers there, will see you next time. Being your host, Vinnie, jurua. Have a good day.